Well, I think we can safely say the so-called shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, didn't act alone in trying to assassinate Donald Trump. The evidence at this point is overwhelming that he had help. Was he aided in some way, or he at least it was a total cover-up for an actual shooter that might have been hundreds of yards away, separate from that location, which we've been seeing all over the mainstream media. I reported here on the show privately that sources were telling me that Secret Service identified the bullets being fired, which came from about 488 yards away. Yards, not feet, yards. Okay, approximately 488 yards, not feet. Yesterday, another source brought me some great information showing that the Butler Gymnastics Club is precisely that same distance away, about 488 yards away. Here you can take a look at Google Maps and you can see this is the Butler Gymnastics Center, okay, much further than we've been talking about in this line of sight. Look at these windows, look at the roof line. This is all from a vantage point facing the stage where President Trump was located, okay? And we'll just sort of spin this around here so you can just get a sense of the depth here as we go towards the fairgrounds where President Trump was speaking, who've now confirmed moments after the shooting they saw shots being fired from another location, not that roof. The water tower direction, in the same line of sight as the Butler Gymnastics location that we showed earlier. Further distance away, not from that roof line. And we need to find out what they saw, and can we confirm that was there anyone on that water tower or not? So multiple now eyewitnesses saying that they saw shooters from another location, bullets fired from the water tower. Watch.
Hit the ground, and he kept standing. I was like, you got to get down, boy. You got to get down. They're going to shoot you. Because if they would have had like a machine gun, they could have taken us all out. So then we laid there for a while. We saw different places where the gunshots were at. We laid there for a while. And we saw different places where the gunshots were at. And then they got President Trump down, Secret Service did, and they took him out of there and got him off of the stage. And he was bleeding. And so then my son and daughter-in-law was back behind us, back behind the fence. And we was worried about them. We couldn't call them. And so we started trying to go after them then when they finally let us up. And they had been right by the fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence. And they had been right by the fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence.
And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do...
One by the water tower.
Exactly. So that's just one eyewitness. Here's another eyewitness witnessing the water tower. Watch.
Sharpshooter shot to the left. He killed the gentleman in the water tower here. What I've heard coming out here is now they feel that there was two shooters on both sides. So they... What I've heard coming out here is now they feel that there was two shooters on both sides. So they got the one on the tower on this side, but the one on the right side they never got. So that's why they wanted us to leave immediately, because they thought there's still a shooter out there somewhere.
Yeah, water tower, water tower, water tower, that location. And to go at seeing eyewitnesses, seeing it, hearing it, and also then being told to move out of that area because they think there's another shooter in that location. So we need to get to the bottom of that. Into this, we're not going to let this go because we have eyewitnesses, and they're all. I think the official response on this is very telling. When they're all telling you that this is one guy, here's who did it, here's his DNA results, we know who he is, we're going through his phone right now, here's the information. Okay, great. What about all the eyewitnesses that say something else happened? Mm-hmm. What about the Secret Service individuals and sources who said these bullets were fired at over 400 yards away?
Well, also what gets my spidey sense up is as soon as the government and the media says these conspiracies are false, we're only 4 days out. That all conspiracies should be open questions at this point. Everything should be okay to ask and not decide which things are not okay to ask and which things are conspiracy. So as soon as I see that the #1 video on the Wall Street Journal's page today is all the conspiracies, debunking the conspiracies around the Trump shooting, we don't know anything. Everything is open game at this point. Then I'm like, okay, these are the questions they don't want us to ask, so let's ask them.